So if we head over to third base, obviously David Wright's at third base. Um, Unfortunately, his injuries, cut his career short. But are his numbers Hall of Fame worthy because of the injury and he stopped short,
Yeah.
or is it just not enough?
Yeah, I don't think it's enough. I think it's the part of the sadness that goes along with the way David Wright's career ended. I think he's securely placed among Mets greats, among maybe the top five greatest Mets ever. That's never going to change, and that's again, like I said, that's secure. And I look forward to when his number is retired, uh, probably next year. That's my prediction. Since we're having Jerry Kuzman's number retired, I figured they save it for next year. But that's to me, his Mets legacy, his legacy as an all time Met. That is secure and never going to be questioned. But as far as being a Hall of Famer, he was certainly on a Hall of Fame trajectory up until about 2012, and as we all know, it went downhill from there, and injuries just got the better of him. Really got the better of him. It was great that he could be a part of the 2015 playoff run. Got that home run in his first at bat back in Philadelphia. Got the home run in Game 3 of the World Series, which was one of his best moments and one of the best moments in the history of Citi Field so far. But it's really too bad because it would have been great to see him just kind of see how his career could play out and see where it could have stacked up in terms of all-time great third baseman, not just all-time Met third baseman because he's certainly number one, but would have loved to see him make the Hall of Fame, but I unfortunately think that's not going to happen.
And after that, again, you have some good players at third base: Ray Knight, Robin Ventura, I mean Wayne Garrett, Ed Charles, Hubie Brooks.
Yeah.
How was the selection there? Was it a tough one for you?
That was a tough one, and it includes one of my final choices for the team. I put Howard Johnson
Howard
in
Johnson.
there. Howard Johnson was not the greatest fielding third baseman, but it was a fantastic hitter. He had three fantastic years, years that some of his numbers are still tops all time in Mets history. 87 was his breakout year. 89 had a fantastic year, and then 91 was his third 30-30 season, and he led the league in home runs and RBIs. It gets a little overshadowed because he always did that in years in which the Mets underachieved. 91 especially, they really collapsed at the end of the season. But it shouldn't be overlooked because he was so productive. So he deserved to make the team at third base. And behind him, I put Robin Ventura, and that might be a little bit controversial, but I thought he was not only did he produce maybe the best hitting season by a third baseman in Mets history in 1999, but he was a fantastic fielder, won a Gold Glove. His last, only played 3 years. Had his last 2 years were injury plagued, but he still, fought through it and played decently. But his fielding kind of put his wins above replacement very high in terms of Mets third baseman. So that kind of allowed me to kind of put him on the team, not only because he could be the better fielder of the three, but he had a lot of big moments in 1999. We all remember the Grand Slam single, which the game was already a classic. He kind of just put an exclamation point on it. But he had a lot of great moments in leading the Mets to that postseason berth in 1999. He had some good moments as well in the World Series, the playoff run in 2000.